Discussion on the motion. Final call for discussion. Alderman Pittner.
Question for Mr. Zakian.
What is that
Um,
noise?
And John, I'll ask this while you're approaching the podium. After
Oh, like I
this,
hear
the
somebody
city of Minot,
talking. Okay.
Six o'clock, call the meeting to order. This is a special meeting, so we will be sticking to the agenda. And that's it. Checking versus funds. Anita, do you have something on that?
Yeah, just simply that finances are finances, really what they are. The city's finances are healthy, the accounting practices have been good up to date, but there is a discrepancy, an adjustment that needs to be made each month. It's unexplainable, that needs to be entered for the financial reports to be produced. And then there hasn't been an audit since 2018. So with those things stated, I just, as your auditor and not having been giving you those reports before in the past, I'm just kind of looking for your direction, I guess, on going forward on how you want to address that differential that needs to be entered to reconcile. And then I would suggest that your 2019 to 2020 audit be pushed as soon as possible, so that future numbers could be provided accurately. Right now, your bank balance and your fund accounting do not zero out, if that makes sense.
Wasn't it always before a yearly audit or no? I remember us talking about it, but I think
I do mine every 2 years at the school. We have the same auditors, Rath and Mayor, I think is who's been here before. So is July of 19 the first time that it's been out of balance?
From what I can see, yes. I pulled some random reports, and those are with you there, showing that differential adjustment. It could have been something carried over from 2018, though. You don't know that without your books being audited. Nobody knows why. I mean, in this room, nobody would know the why. It is.
We have Ricky here with his suggestions on that. Would that be what you're referring to, Anita? That we need to get them balanced before we can go any further?
All I'm saying is right now, your financial reports that you're looking at are not balanced with the money that's at the bank.
Okay.
Have you contacted Rath and Mayor?
I did. I did speak with Jason today, and we've been in contact with them a number of times throughout the past year and a half that I've worked here. He stated the earliest they could come is June, but then he'd also stated previously he was going to be here in April. So the trend has been that it's always pushed out.
So we need to get the books balanced before the audit, then, is your feeling?
No, they'll audit it and make the adjustmts so that she can start going forward with the correct number. I had the same thing when I first started at the school. The bank registers didn't balance, and he came in, and it probably took him 2 hours. He went through stuff and made an adjustment, and I've been fine ever since. But it's something really that only an auditor can do. I mean like Rath and Mayor, an accounting firm, auditing firm.
just definitely wanted to be disclosed to you so that you know that the reports you'd be looking at going forward in the term that I provide them to you would show that I've disclosed this to you fully and that you understand where the position is. It is taxpayer money. Every month it's a different amount if you look.
Yeah, but if you adjust it one month and go to the next month,
It's been a different amount every
Mhm.
month. And it's unexplainable. I know there's been hours already put into trying to figure it out.
so in January of 21, there was an adjustment made of $3,284 to balance.
To give you your report.
Yes.
In November, it was 9,000.
Yeah, it's not helping the situation, I guess. It's just making it worse. But my suggestion is to wait for the auditors to look at it. They're the professionals. That's what they do for a living.
Well, we had a lot of people in that office in the last few years for some reason that. Yeah, somebody does one thing in there and it just. Or, but in June, are they gonna get pushed out farther out? You know what I mean? If they're coming April, they come in June, if they're just that busy apparently. Or is it COVID stuff that was making?
She did say that they are behind. They're finishing up county rolls right now.
They do counties and schools mostly.
Or they only.
Well, they've audited the books here before, so they're familiar with the workings of the city, but I mean, yeah, they do school accounting, which is fund accounting, which is what this is, fund accounting. You really, it's difficult to go to a public accounting because it's different accounting methods. Am I right, Carla? Right. Public accounting, yeah.
Well, the reason I've invited Ricky Alexander here tonight is that he has some expertise in this field, and he has people that know how to do the auditing and the reconciliation of nonprofits. Um, Rick, would you like to?
Yeah, so basically I work with companies that are in similar situations, obviously I'm speaking at a company level. And I teamed up with another company, which is not me, I don't find that's your company, and her colleagues work in fund accounting and HOAs or other types of businesses that are nonprofits, and we do the same similar type of stuff. And I'm just gonna pass that along to you, obviously, you can speak more on that than what you've seen with it. Yes.
What's your name? Sorry. Sarah?
Would that would that be a fairly time-consuming task?
It all depends on how quick the communication could be. As you're saying, maybe also by just transfer the credit card to the bank. I would think, but it's an implementation, I would estimate an hour if it's easy to review, but it all depends on how many
That would be 1 hour per month of, so if we go back, 2019 and probably 18, we're looking at 36 months. When did, Mr. Loudon leave? Do you remember?
I was out, June of 2019.
2019?
Mhm.
So if we could go back to that point to get things to balance.
When you see a plug in a bank rec to really be certain of how much specific accounts are actually off by. So that plug could be a net amount of multiple discrepancies or issues throughout multiple accounts. So, you know, they look relatively innocent on the statements themselves, the bank recs, excuse me. But it could be that those plugs are made up of much larger variances on both the expense and revenue side as transactions are clearing. So kind of like Sarah said, we'd have to dig in to really look at ultimately what's going on to give a great estimate of time. But Sarah, I think your estimate's fair. If things are for the most part booked appropriately, but it's hard to say when a rec is plugged. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Like it's probably.
Would you be able to assist our auditor in getting a better handle on where these funds are or should be handled while you're at it?
I can hear you okay, but I need that repeated.
And then we're gonna know the balance sheet is good, it's confirmation and all balance sheet counts, and then go to the profit and loss, and then we make sure all of those line balances.
Yeah.
And then develop policies and procedures, and I don't know if we have any standard procedures now, if we had any but maybe Google charts and just kind of, so even people who aren't great in accounting or haven't had much experience in accounting, we can confide in them to say, we're doing this, you know, a flow chart of where we need the systems up.
So once your work is done, then we should be able to proceed on our own without too much help.
And that's what so many times people will hire us, it's more of a project accounting, we do a project, we do nice and clean and ongoing, and then if you want ongoing support for a couple of months, they can, you know, you want that door open, you can call you when anything comes up. And get the, or instead of having to hire on a whole staff or, you know, replace a person or bring in a new person and pay them, you know, over the years.
efficiently as well.
Now, is this like all the books? This isn't just a checking account. It's like all the books where, I mean, just by looking at it, I mean, yeah, it's 1,900 to balance, and then we needed like 2,200, and then we needed 3,500, and then all of a sudden we only needed, well, then we needed 9, and now we needed 3 again. So,
Steve, these are transactions from your utility program.
correct, it's just, it's the program within the system. It's not somebody just not,
We have three pieces that work together. We have utilities, payroll, and accounting. And so depending on who's working through those full transactions and understanding, okay, I gotta pay the IRS right now. What's involved to do that? Was that process correct? I gotta take a credit card payment for utilities. Was that process done correct? And all of those roll into accounting each month. They all link together. So it could be a multiple of many transactions.
and are some of these transactions like on an automatic payment process or something that just transfers out or no?
We have to enter those transactions and push it to accounting. So utilities gets pushed to accounting every time a deposit is made. A deposit could consist of, 200 of the residents' payments that day. Then we have the credit card program that fills in there as well. We have citation payments. We have payroll that gets pushed once payroll is complete. So it could be a multiple of those things. It could be a mix of many things.
It's really complex with the accounting programs because if you look at it as 100 different pools of money, if you pull money from this pool for this project, whereas 1% of the money should have came from this pool, 5% should have came from here and here. If you don't pull it from the correct area, then you end up with a mess. And a $9,000 transaction could just be 9,000, could be a lawnmower that costs $9,000, or it could be 100 transactions that add up to that. That could be from multiple different departments.
So when Anita reached out to me regarding this, I told her not to touch it. I didn't want her going back and opening up 20 months worth of bank reconciliations. But when I talked to Megan on the phone, obviously that first month, July 2019, once they balance that, you should be able to. The first month might take 6 hours to figure out. But then after that, I can totally see where it would be an hour here, an hour there. So I agree with that. I think the first month might be difficult.
With,
It would provide training as well.
Yes, and that's what Megan said at the end too, is that that she can train along the way and just like you said, that have somebody to call if there is a question. And
You know what the last audit was, Carlos, by chance?
July 2019,
20,
July 1st, 2019. I was the one here.
Wonderful. You could ask them to look for all of those things, how to solve financial costs. It's generally timing issues of things between getting payments being reported in, it used to be reported in the Odyssey program and then it's hitting, what Anita's saying is we've got three programs that at that point we're talking to each other. So you were hoping that things came in on email, you need to go up and grab them. You're gonna have timing differences no matter what. So that's where the jumping is coming from. That would be nice to have an explanation of exactly why it's jumping. But again, you can ask your auditors to look at that. And we are required to have that audit. So what you're talking about is a great idea to be able to identify those things, but it's not going to replace what the city already has to do.
we have to
Mr.
have
Oh, sorry.
19 and 20 books audited no matter what, because we have a bond. And the bond service I'm surprised they haven't pushed harder, but they're allowing a leeway with the situation, because of our due payment.
Was 18 audited?
18 what? So 19 and 20 are missed, and we're a quarter into 21.
How come we're just finding out that this is a mess? Why was it not addressed to the council in the last?
It's something that is new, that has been put on, I guess,
Right, but why wasn't it addressed earlier to the council?
no one knows why.
I don't think it's new. It's been here for a long time.
I
But it's
think,
new to my position here with you guys as.
It's new to you.
Yep.
You're not, you knew it was wrong. It was off before though. This isn't new.
Right, but I'm disclosing.
Exactly. But
it was brought up at one council meeting. I believe Jennifer asked Diane why there was a $3,000 difference in the books, and Diane explained it at that time as that some checks hadn't been returned or some hadn't
been cashed.
been
or whatever.
cashed or whatever, and that was, but,
When did you,
The middle of July,
what,
19.
any other questions of,
Well, I'm gonna just
last
say,
time
I
the
think
balance
Rath
was
and
March.
Mayor are the people that can do this because they've dealt with the city. They've audited these books before, so they're aware of the accounting practices and they're aware of the different softwares. He did it for me in a couple hours and it cost like $280.
I guess personally, I think we're in farther than what the auditors there
No.
can handle. And plus, I believe we need to get some training and get everything simplified so that Anita and Terry can handle it in the office.
It is not above what Rath and Mayor can handle. They audit the state, they audit every city and county, and they audit a ton of schools. It's not above what they can do.
I completely agree with that. However, I think it's for the sake of time that, that Chuck even reached out to Ricky regarding this issue. For the sake of time, to have a third party come in and have it fixed by the time the auditors get here. We've already been pushed back 2 months. By the time they get here, is it going to be September? And then we're going to have 4 or 5 months of bank reconciliations to do while they still already have their normal workload. I mean, it's a time consuming process. I know that these guys are professionals can probably do it in an hour or two.
do you
And-
recall ever happening when you were here before Jason left, having to put these to balance items in? Were those
No.
items there? Or it just
No,
happened in
it-
July and then?
No, it was down to the penny. We would search until we found it.
Some of these adjustments could just be simply made wrong. Maybe it should have been a credit and it was a debit or vice versa or whatever. It could be, like you said, it could be hundreds of things that we don't know. But I'm not in favor of having another audit when we are already scheduled to have an audit with Rath and Mayor.
Well, if
It's just more money to spend.
if we're expecting them to take possibly 3 months to get it up to where it should be for an audit, how do you feel that the other two auditors are going to be able to do it in a couple hours for $250?
I don't know, it hasn't been done since 2019. Now all of a sudden it's an emergency?
Well, we need to get it straightened out before the
I
audit.
understand that.
So,
One thing is, I didn't know it was a mess, and I don't know why this hasn't been fixed a long time ago.
Diane's been working with Rath and Mayor to get it done. She balanced the check,
For a year and
the
a
bank
half?
reconciliations.
For about a year and a half?
I think she was under the direction
I
that
don't wanna,
there were other items that were happening within the city as far as books, and we won't go into that part of it. So I think she was directed by Rath and Mayor to literally wait until that situation passed,
How do you know that information? Who told
from
you?
talking to Diane.
Mhm.
It's funny, no one else in the council knows it.
I asked Diane.
Yeah.
I knew there were items that were not
right for the office to have to go forward for 2, 3, 4 months, whatever it is? And then basically, how are they supposed to correct anything and do it?
That answer would be no.
Yeah,
I would agree.
So aren't they, so if we hire these people to come in and fix this, the audit still's gotta happen, right?
Exactly.
Isn't that gonna be just faster for them when it's all corrected?
Nope.
Yes.
Yep. Right. We pay by the audit. They don't get paid by the hour. They get paid by the audit. We are the same at the school. So it's the same.
So if they come here and spend 3 months fixing it, they're
They-
gonna charge you the
We are gonna
200
charge
something
They do the school audit for 2 years, which is 2 school years, and it's one price.
but your stuff isn't off for 2 to 3 years though. Your stuff is on. so
My
it's
stuff
easy.
was wrong when I started,
When you
but I
started.
had it
Do you have a
fixed.
proposal at all as far
Yeah.
as dollar amount? I know the dollar or the 1 hour, I mean, we're looking at 24 months at least. I mean, what is like a per hour charge?
I can hear you a little bit.
What do you propose? I mean,
So-
expect as a funding project?
What was that, Sarah?
They're wondering as for a dollar amount of proposal, for what do you think if you had to have an estimate?
I think-
Cost to run through
Well-
July 19th.
On an hourly basis, to get the bank recs cleaned up, I think it would be $100 an hour, correct, Sarah? For doing the bank recs. And I think, I just want to speak to, I think I heard kind of some conversation around whether or not the auditors could help clean this stuff up. And the answer would just be no, because it's a complete conflict of interest for them. They can propose adjusting entries and they can tell you if something's wrong, but they can't come and clean up the books. Or they're not supposed.
That's what they do though. And that's, I mean, yeah, they audited the books, but he went back and proved exactly everything I needed to fix. It's not like fixing the books. I'm offended by
hear-
that, quite frankly.
I can hear a little bit of that.
I don't appreciate somebody saying I'm cooking books.
Well,
Okay.
Can I ask a couple questions? I know where we're going with this, but I guess, I've seen you at a couple meetings, what you do here. And as far as like the experience though, between the two of you, I mean, is there like years of experience or, I mean, how? And she's in Washington? And how are you related to Megan at all? Just
No,
know-
I'm here as a private citizen recommending that we hire this company to fix any issues or accounting problems, provide training. I use them in my business, in many businesses that I work with, and it has proven to be very beneficial for me.
You as her?
Yes.
And how do you know her? Do you know her at all? Or?
No, Chuck had, or Ricky had reached out to Chuck. I don't know how it worked. Anyways, then Ricky asked me some questions and then asked if I would explain this stuff after I had talked to Anita about it. I don't know any of these people.
There's a lot of trust issues that we have with the people that are sitting up here, just so you know, Megan.
No worries. So I can give you a little bit of background just so everyone has a point of reference for my experience, if that helps a little bit. I started out I'm a CPA. I started out in public accounting. For those of you who know anything about the accounting world, you'll probably be familiar with the firm I came from. It's called KPMG. And I worked primarily in auditing nonprofits. So I spent 3 or 4 years of my career there, and then I worked in-house on the client side. After that, I was an accounting manager for a tech company in Seattle after that, and then I left to do business consulting and took clients like you primarily get through audits, working as a liaison with audit teams. And I have several years of experience working together initially actually at a firm here in Bellingham in Washington, helping clients through situations like these.
is she gonna come here and do it then apparently, right? Or are you gonna try to do it from Washington and everything gets sent there?
Yeah, there's no reason to move her for the most part for any of this kind of stuff.
Do you have a ballpark figure as far as the dollar amount? 3,000, 4,000?
Is that a question for me or are
Yeah,
you?
for you.
Directly. Yeah, so, okay, so we're talking, we got as a starting point, we're gonna have to open up about 22 recs, and we're saying, if we're being conservative, it's gonna be about an hour each, at $100 an hour, right? So for that cleanup piece, I think we're looking at, you know, somewhere between two and 3,000. And that's assuming things go smoothly, and we obviously let you know if bigger things than we were all anticipating start to come up during that process.
How many hours do you think it would include to, I mean, as far as what it would require that you would need from our office to be able to look at those bank reps? Whereas we're gonna have to provide details for each transaction.
So initially, I think Megan and I discussed, and we said, you know, we need all bank statements, credit card statements, and then if there's multiple deposits, if they're not seeing those bank statements, we can access to the time software, of course, so that we have contacts. And then if you have what your bank procedures currently are, maybe for you, you know what the processes are. And then it goes into from getting the bank to reconcile to making sure that the funds are correctly reconciled, then you can go to the grant documentation.
Is there standard operating procedures right now?
We rely on support from the actual, program.
So we would
So
be-
there is online support and they detail each procedure. It's cloud
so that's
service.
kind of the standard operating procedure that needs to reference from the software.
Absolutely. They draw up the procedures for their program.
Is it tailored specifically to the operations you guys are carrying out? So for you guys specifically,
It sounds like they deal with within a lot of municipalities to make them so.
gotcha.
When could you start? Megan,
I hear you. I would suggest, I'm pulling up my calendar right now. If you guys, I think I caught that you're wanting the audit is scheduled for July. I think we should start this as soon as possible, so that we can understand what's really going on. I would try to get you guys in. I would try to get you in as soon as next week, if you could, or the following week, the first week of May.
I'd like to make a motion to hire a sound CPA for up to $3,000.
I sent.
We have a motion on the floor to hire, what was this name of the company? Sound CPA for a maximum of about $3,000 to straighten out the books. And the second was by Mr. Dickinson. Any further comment? Hearing none. Mr. Fenwald? Mr. Dickinson?
Yes.
Ms. Ganser?
No.
Ms. Johns?
Yes.
Motion pass. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anita, certificate of deposit.
It's just a loan CD out at First Western Bank. All the other funds with the city are held at First International. So option is to roll it. And it's open right now, so you can either roll it as is at First Western, or you can move it to First International.
How much is in there?
$12,000.
It's just a CD.
It's just yep, it's just a CD.
Is there any interest advantage to one or the other?
I know the city used to have CDs, gaining interest monthly. I guess I thought that everything was transferred to the new bank already.
Is that the only thing left at First
This is the
Western?
only thing left at First Western, and it's at like a 0.05 interest rate right now.
Have you,
Banker's recommendation down there. You know, since we can, I might as well just go on record, since like I said, a lot of trust issues, I used to work at Gate City, I quit Gate City Bank, I wasn't fired. I went to First Western, I quit First Western, I wasn't fired. And then we opened up our own gym. Just that there's rumors out there that I've been tossed around with it. I would suggest, having worked at Gate City and First Western, that I would do that First International Bank, we roll in First International Bank.
Is that a deal where you add that money to the others then, or do you have to have that separate $12,000 on its own? I don't know the answer to that.
be its own?
You
Open
can
a
take
CD.
the money out as a cash withdrawal and put it wherever you want it.
Right, but you can't put
You
it
don't
on
wanna do
top
that.
of the money that's already at.
You could put it in the savings account, the checking account.
We used to have like 10 CDs at First Western that just kind of rolled and they rolled and they rolled.
Right.
And there was only one, I don't know what's that First International, I have no idea if they're in CDs or checking accounts or whatever. Carla might know.
They're all in savings and then one checking.
Oh, so there isn't a CD there that say it's $12,000, you can't add it. So you got 24 and then it's collecting a little more interest. You can't do that.
I don't think we need a vote on this. We just need to advise Anita on what we would like her to do, whether we want to keep it at First Western or move it over to First International.
Can you talk to Perry about what the interest rate is at First International?
$12,000 at 0.5 is 40 cents.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you might as well just put it at First International Bank and
Mhm.
savings account.
Yeah.
All together, so we can get stuff squared.
I agree.
I agree.
All right. Sounds good. Item number 3, third party.
You already covered that, I think, huh?
Okay.
Unless you
Oh,
got
that's
more,
for the,
unless you got more on that topic.
that's third party audit then. Okay. Public Works crack sealing machine, engine replacement. Mr. John.
So AJ just wanted to verify with y'all, we had a gentleman here in town come out and look at a crack sealing machine, because ever since we finished last year, we can't get it restarted. Came out, looked at it, and compression is about a quarter lower than it should be. He thinks the engine shot, it's the original of the machine, we don't know how old the machine is. Fix it, but it's gonna be cheaper to buy it right now.
What's on them for an engine? Just a little
It's
gas
a-
engine, like
Like a 20 horsepower. is what AJ ordered.
Lawnmower engine. We just have to,
Are you-
on the Bismarck to pick it up,
Are you guys using that this year? Plan on it?
planning on it.
You got a price on one then to get a new one? How come you gotta go to Bismarck? Don't they sell them in Minot?
Hardwood Freight had it for 900, that's the cheapest one we found so far.
Have you looked at any used ones?
Not to my knowledge, we have not.
Machines or the engine? Jenny?
Just the engine.
Engine.
To our knowledge, we have not. It'd be better to last longer, not new.
I'm just thinking for a machine that's only used, for a couple weeks or not even, maybe 1 week out of the year. And it is just a 20 horsepower, basically glorified lawnmower engine that maybe we could find something a little cheaper.
Research was up.
Is there like well, I know there used to be a small engine place out here, wasn't it, Barry? Something? But I don't think he lives there anymore. But someone like that would probably have an idea where to get one, but he don't live out there.
So the gentleman we used is actually. centralized well. Where's the oil built and then when it's smaller than 25.
That sits outside too, don't it? I don't like.
Yeah, does it just have water in the gas tank or something? I mean, did everything get drained and,
So it did have water and gas and oil, but we changed that out for granite. And it's pressure below, just going to the pistons are starting to wear. You have to be below the pistons.
So when you used that the last time, did it work well? I mean,
For the first week or two, and then we started having a lot of issues.
I mean, it's an old burned out machine.
The whole works is though.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a matter of, I mean, you either replace it for $1,000 and you still have a piece of crap, or you hire somebody to do it, or we buy a machine and do it ourselves.
When we just went to go shut it, as we were using it last year, as we were finishing up the town, we started having backfiring issues with it. And a couple other issues not being able to fix.
I thought it looked happening. I just don't know if we should throw any money into something that is really too strong, but buy a new one with a new one. A lot. I don't know, or you hire it out every year. Everybody wants.
Do you have a plan what you're gonna do this year, like certain streets or how many streets or something? So like maybe just get a bid on it from a couple contractors, see what they come back with.
So the tentative plan, last year we did all of the streets, we weren't sure exactly when they were last done. We did all streets. This year we're hoping to do between a quarter to half of that. We kind of got this back here, most of them swept up.
Did you find out, are they doing Pleasant? They are? Okay, good, then I don't have to do it.
I mean, if the new one costs 1,000 and a used one costs 500.
It's still a piece of crap, like you said.
Just find someone
I know,
else's
but you're
problem.
putting it into a machine that you're getting ready to sell anyways, or
I mean, to me, $500 is
too much, in my opinion.
I don't know.
Pretty much been worked on last year though, before we started selling. So it has a brand new motor that spins, there's a blade inside that spins it. That's pretty much brand new, reinforced. The trailer itself needs a little bit of work, but I mean, it's in decent condition, motor.
Brett, you hear them all. What do you?
I did that once.
New used or, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what a price a new one is. I'm sure that's a lot of money. And I, see, to me, I wouldn't leave something like that sit outside. And I know we don't have the storage, but it's not good on anything sitting outside through the winter, sitting there in the sun all summer. So it's not, if we bought a new one or you put a new engine on, it should be covered or it should be inside. I don't believe in leaving your stuff out.
Exactly.
Especially something like that or something else, like the street sweeper.
Are you thinking new engine or a used engine?
I'm thinking they get a bid on it, and I'm sure it's probably gonna be $5 to $8 grand to come in and do what they want or more. I don't know.
Well, no, this is like $1,000, you said.
For the motor. No, I said get a bid from a couple contractors and see what they were gonna charge to. It's kind of like the street sweeper. There was no sense of putting 10, 15 grand into that. You know what I mean? If you can hire it out for 3,500, have the town swept and you're done. If it would have cost 8,000, 10,000 to sweep the streets, I wouldn't have agreed with that.
So John, for the next meeting, can you just research used engines? And then also research quotes for, it's supposed to be, normally it's on a 3-year basis, so 1/3 of the town. I don't know how many actual miles that would be. I think the city is like 10 miles.
We were trying to do quarters just because, you know, it's a southwest, southeast, and so on.
But like now's the time to do it. The cracks are wide open right now. So we wait too much longer and then you might as well not even do it.
It gets hot and everything just kind of comes back. Is there a lot, if you did most of the town last year, is there a lot that you're driving around seeing that needs to be, that's, I figured there was if you're gonna do it. I mean, it's better to have your own guys do it than it is to hire it out cheaper wise, but.
But until we got that machine from Keller Paving, I mean, it was hired out every or every 3 years, I'm sorry.
Do you remember what roughly that was back then?
Yeah,
Like
like
4 or 5?
$20,000 to $30,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's,
So do we want to do it for a third of the town, or do you want to say once every 3 years for the town? Cap on it.
I would split it up.
Me too.
Yeah.
Let's say something else happened and you weren't able to dedicate a whole month to it. I mean,
Yeah, if we go 3 years without sweeping, it's $20,000 deal.
mhm.
Why don't,
Then you lose the
I
streets
think you should be
completely.
able to find a motor for that. I don't,
$900.
no,
Mm.
I don't know. Call
What do you-
Keller Paving, maybe they have one.
Do we have a motion on the floor? Okay.
I think you should see if you
Yeah.
can find a used one.
Well, like,
We just want to bring it up, because I'm different this weekend, figure might as well get it, bring it up.
But then in a way, $900, you're probably not gonna, if you're gonna stick a new motor on that, maybe it lasts 2, 3 years. I don't know.
It's probably, that's all, I mean, it's $1,000.
I mean, can you guys put it back on there yourself and everything, right?
okay, then the council wishes you to check it out. Our next meeting is a week from Monday. I think.
Check into some used engines and then just get some bids on, what do you say, third of the town, half the town, or third of the town?
We did all of it last summer, right?
But if it's 20 to 30 grand, we should spend $1,000.
But you know what, when is the last time it's done like?
It all reflects on oil prices and such like that too. So
Okay, thank you, John. That's we have a motion to adjourn by
Second.
Steve. We have a second. Second by Jennifer. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you for coming.
Go show you if that's okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who should she call?
Anita.